There was a king who had many counselors, and one in particular he loved the most. And that counselor always says to the king, "All is well and unfolding as it should." One day, the king had his royal barber who was doing haircut for the king. Accidentally, the barber cut the vein on the king's neck, and bloods were there everywhere on his shoulder. And of course, he had to get stitches. Then the king asked the counselor, "What do you think about this tragedy accident?" The counselor said, "All is well and unfold as it should." The king was upset and scolded the counselor, saying, "There were a lot of blood came out, got stitches, and permanent scar, and you are saying all is well and unfolding as it should." The king commanded the guards to lock the counselor in the deepest and darkest dungeon. In the evening, he was still upset and he wants to clear off his mind. Thus, he has taken his horse for a ride. He rode and lost the track of where he was. And pretty soon he realized he was outside of the kingdom and he was in the land of cannibals. Before he realized, cannibals caught him. Usually, cannibals eat people. They were making fire to roast the king. Before throwing him on the fire, one of the cannibals noticed the king had scar on his neck. Some of the cannibals said they can't sacrifice the king because he had scar on his body. Then they decided to let him go. While riding back to the kingdom, the king was thinking, if he didn't have scar on his neck, the cannibals would have roasted him. As soon as he reached the kingdom, he asked the guards to release the counselor from the deepest dungeon. Then he was telling everything to the counselor what happened to him with cannibals. And he said, "You are right, counselor. All is well and unfolding as it should." The counselor said, "It is not all over, king." "What do you mean?" the king asked. "Usually, who accompanies you when you want to go for a horse ride?" The king said, "You are the one." "That's right. If you didn't lock me in the deepest dungeon, then I would have been with you, and the cannibals would have roasted me instead of you. All is well and unfolding as it should."